Howdy folks, this is Checkers back again with another Fallout 4 video, here today to take a look at the new Wasteland Workshop trailer that just dropped. And we start the trailer off by fighting a Mirelurk Queen with a rocket launcher, before moving on to a Raider Waster, and we're fighting in Kellogg's armor, which is an interesting choice for the video. Next up, we have an Assaultron who's lost her legs, not to be confused with an Automatron, probably a Gunner variant. And finally, we find ourselves facing a super mutant suicider who is about to blow his nuclear top. After all of that combat, we start to hit settlements. First, Grey Garden, and then we head over to Spectacle Island with a view of the city and the Prydwen in the distance. But next up, we have a settlement, or a position at least, that I don't recognize. I thought it was one of the junkyards, but I couldn't find one with these stacked buses and trailers. Now I believe we are back at Spectacle Island with a reverse view showing us some concrete or cement structures built by the sole survivor. And now we move on to Jamaica Plain, which is notoriously hard to plant, making this planter object very interesting indeed. And it does appear to be able to hold 4 plants per tile. Next up, we find the sole survivor running through what is most likely the glowing sea in a tux and flight or space helmet even, and why wouldn't you, but mainly I think to appreciate the construction of this Decontamination Arch, which will remove all radiation from your character. But I would also like to point out the generator in the background. These are the things we usually take fusion cores from, but it looks like we may be able to use them for power in this DLC. Next, we find ourselves back at Grey Garden, putting down some concrete and steel foundations or floors, and the same with the walls. Next, we're treated to a view of wiring what is a very interesting room. And where to even begin with this room? I suppose with the 3 labeled storage containers, stuff in the box by the window, storage in the cabinet on the raised dais, and the green guns chest on the right. We see a new corrugated metal ceiling, of course the raised concrete and steel floor with what appears to be a new tile under the chair itself. Over by the window, we see the 2 filament counters with 0 and 2 displayed in them, and just above those and to the right, you will see the stuffed heads of a house cat and a dog that looks very much like dog meat. As the sole survivor gets up to leave, we see him stand up to bang his head in the ceiling fan and stop it, thus making him mad enough to plant some spring traps and even some circular saw blade traps as well. We also see "Enter at your own risk" written in neon over to the right behind the trap. Now we see the saw trap in action, a new spring trap being planted, some spike traps being placed, and all of them in what appear to be some sort of channel for what are either captured or invading gunners and raiders. Next we have a Mirelurk cage with the interesting requirement of a Mirelurk egg, and then we get to see the cage in action as it releases what I believe to be a Mirelurk King. Next we see the placement of a beta wave emitter, first seen on Spectacle Island, and watch as it pacifies a Mirelurk King. And now a cat cage containing the very wonderful and very awesome domestic house cat. And here we have what appears to be a player-built arena with a Deathclaw cage releasing its Deathclaw with live Deathclaw fights written in neon along the wall, and a Deathclaw skull mounted nearby. The skull is not to be alone for long as the Deathclaw falls and we are treated to a rogues gallery of wasteland creatures before seeing what appears to be some simple lighting control in simple chases in neon and the lighting cubes. All of this thanks to the Wasteland Workshop DLC brought to us by Bethesda Game Studios. Once again, this has been Checkers with another Fallout 4 video, this time taking a look at the Wasteland Workshop DLC. I would like to remind you that if you look in the upper right hand corner, you will see a small letter I with a white circle around it. These are cards and links to other videos that I have made, in this case perhaps other DLC videos. Also, I would like to remind you that I have a Twitter link in the description of the video and on my channel main page. If you're on mobile, it's on my channel About page. I would like to thank you for watching. I hope you found the video informative and maybe just a little entertaining. I would like to invite you to subscribe and ask you to please take care.